Hello and welcome to Racing Home. My name's Graham. So, like Johnny Rotten in the film The Great Rock and Roll Swindle, you thought you'd gotten rid of me, but I'm back with a vengeance. So I just thought I'd shoot this test episode just to see if I can get into the back into the swing of it, because I've not done one of these for God knows how long. It must be 5 months by now, I would have thought. What have I been doing in the meantime? Not a lot really. Tidying up my garage, dicking around with stuff in general. I managed to buy a drone and crash it into a goalpost on a football field. And you know what the worst thing about that was? It wasn't even recording when I crashed it. What a tosser. But anyway, back to the bike racing. So, a lot's been going on in bike racing since I last spoke to you. The World Superbike Championship, or we should really call it the Ray Superbike Championship, because he's kicking ass again. I think unless he has a major accident and hurts himself, Johnny Ray is probably going to be World Superbike Champion for the second time running. Because let's face it, Chaz and Tom are trying to keep him in sight, but Chaz is pushing a lot to try and keep up with him. And he's making mistakes and falling off. And Tom, I don't know, has he got the mojo? Is he just not as good as Johnny? Who can tell? But yeah, it's not. And with this God knows how long break as well, I've forgotten what World Superbike is. So yeah, Johnny Ray, yet another British World Champion this year. We've got to be honest. Excellent. Well done already. So we've also had the TT since I spoke to you last, and what was that? That was the Michael Dunlop and Ian Hutchinson Fest, wasn't it? Those boys are riding like they're on a short circuit these days. It's getting to the point now where I think one of the major contenders is going to die next year, because they're all having to push so hard to actually make an impact and get onto the rostrum. And surprisingly, it must be the first year for God knows how long that John McGuinness hasn't won a race. His fat ass hit the kill switch on his electric bike, and that was Bruce Anstey taking the win. Which was good for Bruce, because he had a crap week. And that RC, 213 road bike thing he was riding, he just didn't seem to have a lot of luck with that. Hopefully next year they'll be back with it, and we can really see what it's doing. Right, next, World Endurance. So did you see the Portimao 8 hours? What a good race that was. Was it, I think, what was it, half a second or something at the end after 8 hours? How mental's that? Or was it 12 hours? Oh, whichever. But it was a brilliant race. GMT and Sir Suzuki battling it out right to the very end. We also had Moto 3, or should I say Moto 2 chap, and Miguel Oliveira there as well. And some real good racing. And Greg Black, the Derbyshireman who rides for the, what is it, not RC2L, is it? It's the other events team. Yeah, that events team, whatever they're called. He was leading the first hour and putting up a real good show. So yeah, that was fantastic, that was. And then a couple of weeks ago, the Suzuka 8 hour. Josh Brooks actually got a podium, which makes a change, which was nice to see. Team Kageyama fought back from a real bodge in the pits. Ryuichi Kiyanari, he seems to only go well at Suzuka. He's riding a Suzuki in the British Championships, but he's doing crap. Whereas he goes to Suzuka and he was leading the race for the first, 20 minutes or something, till he was passed by the victorious Yamaha team, with obviously Alex Lowe's this year, which was excellent to see somebody British on the podium again. And Honda got their asses royally kicked just for a change. Their top team with Nicky Hayden in it, the bike just died on them. When are Honda ever going to bring a new bike out? It's just beyond comprehension. It just, I don't know, the Suzuka 8 hour used to mean so much to them back in the day. Why are they not pushing for the wins these days? They just don't seem to be asked. Oh, and finally, we'll talk a little about MotoGP. So, who's it going to be? Marc Marquez seems to have got some consistency. Rossi's had a couple of engine blow-ups and a crash. Poor old Jorge Lorenzo seems to have lost his head a bit at the minute, and he's Ducati bound next year. So it's all still to play for. There's another 9 rounds to go yet. Danny Pedrosa's just racking up the points at the minute, so is he going to have a late season surge? We've seen Crutchlow on the podium in the wet. What a good race that was. And obviously Jack Miller, something I never thought I'd see. Jack Miller winning a MotoGP race in the wet at Assen, but he still got to get on the bike and he did a fantastic job, so hats off to Jack. So I'll call this the end of the first new episode that I've done for a while. So right, hopefully this should be alright, and I'll speak to you later. Cheerio.